Alright guys, being a comic, you drive a lot. Like, I think I haven't added it up yet, but last year it's probably in the 20 something thousand, maybe 30,000 mile range. Probably more than that. I did 5 weeks and I did 7,000 miles in those 5 weeks, so it's probably a lot more. Some basic maintenance you should be able to do on your car, I feel like, yourself. So I'm gonna change the oil in my hoopty. Couple things you're gonna need. You're gonna need some basic tools like a jack, and we've got a drain pan over here, and I got some oil and a filter, and I probably want to change shirts. You don't want to wear a shirt you really like because it might get dirty, and I like this one. And beer, you probably want beer. Obviously, some of these things are optional. You know, you could just drink the beer and not change the oil. So, yeah, let's do this. Change our oil. I feel like comics should be a lot better with their cars. I know so many of them that don't know shit about cars, and I feel like you should. Also, if you have an awesome friend who's gonna let you use his garage, that helps. Or if you have your own, I don't. Make certain you get, like, when you start to jack up the car, make certain it's on like a good solid spot. Obviously you don't want to crush any, fuel lines or brake lines or whatever. I feel like that should go without say, but, I know some people like, it's weird, he goes back and forth between being like almost a savant and then just, I don't know, I guess we all do that from time to time. We have our moments. This is gonna take a while. And if you value your life at all, use a jack stand. You really don't need to get the car that high. Just high enough to crawl under it, really. I like to leave the jack still underneath there with the jack stand. Give it like half a pump so the jack's still kind of holding it up. Alright, so for those of you that don't know what I drive, it's a 97 Mercury Grand Marquis. These wheels are off of a cop car, a newer cop car, and got some spacers in there to make them fit and paint them to match. The center caps are actually off of a Mercury Mountaineer. All the cop cars are Fords, and they have Ford center caps, and this is a Mercury. I got all the radio shows I've done. Monsters, News Junkie, Tom and Dan. But I just thought it was a nice touch. The stock wheels were like 15s, and just the whole car leaned when it went around a corner. And I drove a cab for 9 years, and all the cabs that had these wheels, they just handle a lot better. They're 17s, and they're wider. The stock tires are like pizza cutters. Let's see. I honestly don't know what size it is. It's a drain pan. They got this little plug in the center. Make certain this is up, otherwise none of the oil will drain in there. You only forget that once before you have to reach in here, and the oil's hot, by the way. You won't forget it a second time, I promise you. You will not forget that a second time. Also, this little thing, that's a vent, to have that open, it just helps it drain in. And when you go to pour it out, like if you go to AutoZone or something, they let you empty it there. I try to have the pan scooted to the side a little bit, because when I pull this out all the way, it's gonna shoot out. There we go. Somehow that's really satisfying. Look at that. Oh no. See how it starts out one way and then starts going the other? And then the wind will carry it a little bit. So just be ready to move your drain pan around a bit. That's why they make them so wide. Definitely don't want to come out here with a, you know, a tiny little thing. Get a drain pan. They're like $5 or something if you're gonna do this. All right, now you gotta pull the filter. Now here's my personal gripe with Ford. When I had my Trans Am, the oil filter was right on the side of the pan, like right here. All right. Now, where this oil filter is, I don't know if you can see it. It's up in the steering. Like, this is it. And my finger's touching it. Let's see if I can see. This is it. Past all the steering and this thing. This is it right here. So you got all this steering and things in the way, and it's fat too. It doesn't fit at all. Like, I don't know why they did that. It's the biggest pain in the ass changing oil on this thing because of the filter, just because of the filter. I don't know why they did it. It's half the reason why I want to put a Chevy motor in this thing. One day I will. I want to put like an LS3 in here or something. I think that would be bitchin'. See, the oil filter is out, but it's caught in the steering. It's like, it won't physically come out. So I gotta turn the wheel to try to get it unstuck. Because this is the way Ford designed it. Ooh, I might have gotten it. I might have just gotten it. Here we go. Did not need to be that difficult, Ford. It really didn't. Why did you do that? Alright, here's a little quick tip for you guys. One thing I like to do, because where that filter is, you can't get a filter wrench, even if you had one up there. So I like to use my belt. It's as rednecky as it sounds, it really is. If you do it like this, around the filter, see how they got the loop there? When you pull it tight, it's just gonna pull harder on the filter. I got oil on my... That's not good. I need to put this drain plug back in. That's not gonna be good. I'll leave that out. No need to really tighten that down a crazy bunch. When you do that, by the way, all you're doing is holding back oil, and there's not a ton of threads on there, so just that's all you need, really. Doing this kind of stuff, I would recommend doing a little bit of research on your car. What I did is, you saw the problem I was having with that oil filter. I did some research, and it turns out there is an oil filter that is just as deep but not as wide with the same thread pitch. I don't know if you can see, like, if I get them side by side without getting this bad boy is just an itty bitty one. It's probably made more so for some 4-cylinder or something, but it should work just fine as long as the thread is the same and this covers the hole, which, as you can see, it should. It's just It's basically the same oil filter, but it stops right there instead of going out that little extra half. So I found that little idea on the internet, and that should make my life a whole lot easier. And, well, as it turns out, it wasn't very helpful or convenient. I had bought the wrong filter. This one actually was the right filter, and it fit and was skinnier and smaller and worked well. I would recommend, if you have, a car you're going to do an oil change on, do some research on it. For my Trans Am, I put a bigger filter on there than normal. It's like a truck filter. I guess it was designed for some sort of GM trucks. But the idea was that it would have a larger filter element and therefore take more shit out of the oil. But in this case, I wanted a smaller one because it would fit easier. And I was able to find it. I just found something that had the exact same thread pitch. It was like M22 by 1.5 or something was the thread pitch. And I just found something that was a little narrower. There's longer ones. I might experiment with it a bit and see what I can fit in there so that I'm not sacrificing a smaller filter element for convenience to be able to get it in and out of there. So I'll figure something out in that regard. But alright, so yeah, basically I was halfway through my oil change, didn't have the right oil filter, and had to sit there for like an hour or something before my friend wait for my friend to get home from work and take me to buy another oil filter. So probably should have bought I probably should have not bought I probably should have gotten more than one oil filter, the correct one and the one that I think will likely, be a good replacement. So that if something had gone wrong, I would have had, a regular oil filter to put on there. But, I'm a moron, and I'm just like, let's try this experiment. Obviously, the car works, I'm at my acting class right now. Alright, I'll make another video a little later. Bye. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Subscribe if you want to see more.